Hi, it's Kamon Reynolds. We have a package of queens here. I wanted to show you what we do to maintain them. First of all, you don't want to have them outside for a long period. Don't expose them to extreme heat. Don't expose them to cool weather. I'll talk about that more in just a second, but let's go ahead and open them. Queens need to get into the hive as soon as possible. So when you order some, try to get them into the hive as quickly as you can. There's multiple ways that queens get shipped. This is one method right here. These queens came from Vermont, and there's a white dot right there on that queen. I don't know if you can see her down in there, but there's another one right there. You see the queen candy packed into there, and this is a different cage than what we use. We usually use the plastic JZBZ cages. I really like them. These work good as well. If you're looking at this and like, wow, there's not a whole lot in here. There's probably about 6 or 7 attendants in each cage with the Carney queen. All of these are Carneys, and this is just one way of doing it. For those of you who have watched some of my older videos, I prefer, this way works great, putting the queen in a cage by herself, and then you can have a bunch of queens in here, and then you get a bunch of nurse bees, and how you do that is you shake them into a box. All the forager bees fly back, all the nurse bees are left, and then you dump those nurse bees in here, put a little damp sponge down in there, you glue it down, hot glue it, and then you get some of that queen candy, and you put that in the corner and wrap it in foil to where they can get to it at the top and glue that down. And then so you have all those bees, and they'll feed those individual queens in the cages. Some beekeepers prefer that. Some like this method better. They both work great. But now that we have these queens, let's say we can't get them in immediately. That is ideal. The longer the queens go from not laying in the mating nuke that they came out of to being introduced into the hive, the higher chances you have at not getting a good acceptance rate. Supersedures can happen. Good quality queens is number one, but it's still best to get them in as soon as possible. Things happen though. It's been raining like crazy here, and this queen down here, thankfully she's got some good attendance. If we had it like I just said a minute ago, where we had bees shook in and all the bees were on the outside of the cages, we'd be opening this and they'd just be coming on out. But we'd have to make sure that they had plenty of moisture in there to dissolve that candy. And bees need water. The queens need water as well. So what we're going to do is take this and just give them one drop. And probably do this, maybe that was a pretty small drop right there. There's already a bee's already sucking it down. Wow. If they go to it really hard, look at that right there. That one bee just went to it really fast, and it doesn't take much, but when they need that water, if they go to it and they take it really quick, then give them another drop. Obviously we don't want to get wet in there. We don't want to make this queen candy soggy. So that's enough water right there for them, just a little bit. And I do this twice a day with a setup like this. If you have a sponge in there and it's a pretty good size, you might not have to do it for a couple days, maybe 2 days. So every night that I don't, or every day that I don't have these into a hive, I'm going to give them a drop or two of water, which is really important. Helps them dissolve that candy, and they also need some water as well. We want to keep them in a cool temperature. That one's going to it right there too. Wow. They were thirsty. And we can also give them a little bit of honey. Make sure it's your honey. Don't use some junk from the store. You don't have to do this. They have that queen candy in there. This is some of our honey from 2 seasons ago. Hasn't granulated or anything. It was some really high quality stuff from 2019. And if I have them out for multiple days, then I'll give them some honey. But if I'm just going to have them in this for maybe 48 hours or something like that, I won't even fool with the honey. But you can see them eating that honey right there. We definitely don't want to get a bunch in there to get that queen sticky and those bees coated with it. So A little bit goes a long way. It'd be better to do just a little bit like that. And if you feel like you need to do more, come back and do it in the evening. And we want them to just feel as little food stress as possible. Get them to the hive as quickly as we can. We'll do an introduction video here pretty soon. Now, temperature, extremely important. Thankfully, we had some cool weather come through, and so I think these queens had a really good experience during shipping. But we don't want our queens getting exposed to high temps. Ideally, keep them between about 72 and 80 degrees at the hottest. That's really room temperature is great. Don't let them get into the 60s for long periods of time, and don't let them get in the 90s, 100 degrees. Don't leave them in the sun for a long period of time. That can really affect the queen's viability. That sperm, if she gets too cold or if she gets too hot, it really can damage sperm viability, and that could be part of the reason why some queens that are shipped do so poorly. Because if it's hot, it's 110 degrees, and they get left in a car like you're out west or something like that where it's really blazing hot, and the driver delivers them to you, and it's really hot, then that could cause the whole batch to just be completely no good. And look at these robbing bees already smelling that honey like, ooh, this is vintage right here. But I just wanted to show you this method right here. When we introduce them, we will be putting them into the hive. It will be queenless, obviously. And I'm going to actually just pull that cork. I'm going to have some feed on there, and they'll be able to eat through that candy and introduce that queen. And as long as she's a good queen and the hive is not in really bad, a bad situation, it'll accept really good. Bad situations would be like there's no young bees in there. Something's going on. Some stress or high mite loads. Stress is not good when you're introducing a queen. Anyways, this video's gotten a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. Just wanted to show you that. We're going to take these back into the house and start introducing them immediately. I'm going to try to get all these in within 2 days. And come on out, girl. Boy, look at this bee right here. Look at her tattered wing. She's worked herself really hard. But she's still trying to get that honey. We'll let you go. If you have any questions on this video, leave it below. You can leave them like this for like a week, maybe more. I almost never bank queens more than 5 days. And there's other ways that you can bank queens. But honestly, the longer you bank them, the worse it is. So try to get them and get them into the hive. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, leave them below.